Ladies and gentlemen, the most dangerous time to worry is the moment before you drift off to sleep. For Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the subconscious mind is a darkroom, and whatever picture you hold in the dark is developed and printed as your reality by morning. You must understand the mechanics of your own mind if you wish to be the master of your destiny. And the mechanics are simple, yet terrifyingly exact. When you lie down in your bed and turn off the lights, you are entering a state of high suggestibility, a state where the reasoning mind, the intellect that guards the door during the day, begins to drift away, leaving the back door to your soul wide open. If you take your worries, your debts, your arguments, and your fears through that back door with you, you are handing the blueprint of disaster to the master builder who works the night shift. The subconscious mind never sleeps, it never takes a vacation, and it has no sense of humor. If you fall asleep thinking about how unfair your boss is, the subconscious mind spends the next 8 hours knitting that unfairness into the very fabric of your being, ensuring that when you wake up, you will attract more unfairness, more conflict, and more frustration. You are literally paying the architect of your life to build a prison for you while you rest. This is why the night is the time of spiritual warfare, or spiritual peace, depending on your choice. Most people treat their bedtime as a time to review the failures of the day. They lay their head on the pillow and press the replay button on every mistake, every awkward conversation, every bill that arrived in the mail. They toss and turn, churning the acid of anxiety in their stomachs, not realizing that they are performing a dark ritual of multiplication. In the dark, things grow. In the dark, fear expands. What was a small concern at noon becomes a giant monster at midnight. This is not just a trick of the imagination, it is a spiritual law. The darkness of the night acts like the fertile soil of the earth. If you plant a seed of poison ivy in the dark soil, you will get a poisonous vine. If you plant a seed of poverty in the dark soil of your sleep, you will harvest a crop of lack. You cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought before bed. It is too expensive. It costs you your peace, it costs you your health, and it costs you your future. Florence Scovel Shinn used the analogy of the darkroom because it is perfect. Think of how a photograph is developed. It requires total darkness. If you expose the film to light too soon, the image is ruined. But in the darkness, the chemicals do their work, and the image becomes permanent. Your sleep is that darkroom. During the day, you are exposed to the light of many distractions, and the images might not stick. But at night, in the silence, in the dark, the chemical of emotion fixes the image onto the plate of your life. If you fall asleep crying, you are developing a picture of sorrow. If you fall asleep angry, you are developing a picture of war. But, and this is the glorious good news, if you fall asleep in a state of satisfaction, if you fall asleep with a smile, if you fall asleep giving thanks, you are developing a masterpiece of joy. You have the power to choose the picture. You are the photographer and you are the developer. Why would you choose to print a tragedy when you could print a romance or a victory? You must learn the art of undressing your mind just as you undress your body. You would not go to bed wearing your muddy boots, your heavy coat, and your work clothes. You take them off to be comfortable. Yet, you insist on wearing the muddy boots of your daily struggles into the holy sanctuary of sleep. You insist on wearing the heavy coat of responsibility that belongs to the daylight hours. You must learn to take them off. You must consciously strip away the cares of the day. You must say to yourself, the day is done. I lay down the burden. I take off the worry about money. I take off the anger at my neighbor. I take off the fear of tomorrow. I stand naked and clean before the Spirit. This mental undressing is essential. If you do not do it, you carry the dirt of the world into the clean sheets of the subconscious, and you wake up feeling heavy, lethargic, and old. The Bible says, "He giveth to his beloved in sleep." This implies that sleep is meant to be a time of giving and receiving. The universal spirit wants to give you ideas, healing, restoration, and solutions while you sleep. But God cannot give a gift if your hands are clenched tight around your problems. Imagine the universe trying to hand you a solution to your debt, but you are holding on to the worry about the debt so tightly that your knuckles are white. You cannot receive the answer. You must drop the problem to catch the solution. Casting the burden is the prerequisite for the night miracle. You must cast the burden of your survival onto the superconscious mind. You must say, "Infinite Spirit, I cannot solve this with my limited human thinking. I give this situation to. You work on it. You fix it. I trust you." When you do this, you step out of the way. You stop jamming the machinery. You allow the divine engineer to come in and make the repairs while you are unconscious. Many of you wake up tired because you have been working all night. You have been fighting battles in your dreams. You have been arguing in your sleep. You have been calculating figures in the dark. Your body was lying still, but your vibration was running a marathon. This is why you need coffee to function, why you feel drained before the day begins. You have not rested. You have only paused your physical movement, while your mental movement accelerated. True rest comes from the sleep of the just. The sleep of the just is the sleep of the person who knows they are justified by grace, who knows that the universe is friendly, who knows that tomorrow is already taken care of. When you sleep this way, your body heals. The cells are washed in the light of the Spirit. You wake up with a bounce in your step, with a new idea, with a song in your heart. This is not an accident. It is the result of a disciplined bedtime routine. Let us look at the multiplication aspect. Why do worries multiply in the dark? Because in the dark, there are no distractions. During the day, if you worry about money, you can turn on the TV, you can call a friend, you can go to work. You can distract yourself. But in the bed, it is just you and the thought. The thought has your undivided attention. And what you give your attention to grows. You look at the thought of sickness. You stare at it. It gets bigger. It starts to tell you a story. What if it gets worse? What if I can't work? What if I end up in the hospital? It becomes a novel. It becomes a horror movie. And you are the producer. By the time the clock hits 30 a.m., you have written a tragedy that ends in your demise. And all of this happened because you invited the first little thought into the bed. You must have a no entry salve on your bedroom door for negative thoughts. You must be the bouncer of your own mind. If a worry tries to get in, you must say, "You are not on the list. Come back tomorrow during business hours. Tonight, I am closed for business. Tonight, I am open only for peace." Florence Scovel Shinn taught that we must prepare for the thing we have asked for. If you have asked for success, you must prepare for success. How do you prepare for success at night? You fall asleep feeling successful. You do not fall asleep feeling like a failure. Even if the day was a total disaster by human standards, you must revise it. This is a powerful technique. Write the day in your mind before you sleep. If you had a fight, imagine that the fight was resolved with love. If you lost money, imagine that the money was returned doubled. Go to sleep in the energy of the revision, not the energy of the fact. The subconscious does not know the difference between what really happened and what you vividly imagine. If you imagine a victory as you drift off, the subconscious accepts the victory as the truth. and begins to organize your life to match that victory. You are building your tomorrow with your tonight. Think of your thoughts as bricks. As you lie there, you are laying the foundation for the next morning. If you lay bricks of anxiety, you will wake up in a house of anxiety. You will stub your toe, you will spill your coffee, you will hit traffic. You will say, "I got up on the wrong side of the bed." No, you went to sleep on the wrong side of the mind. You built a trap for yourself and then walked right into it. But if you lay bricks of gratitude, if you count your blessings instead of your sheep, you build a palace. You wake up and the sun is shining. The phone rings with the traffic parts for you. You say, "I am lucky today." No, you were wise last night. You paved the road. You sent the angels ahead of you while you slept. There is a biological imperative here as well. When you worry, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. These are stress hormones designed for running from a tiger, not for sleeping in a bed. When you flood your system with these chemicals at night, you are poisoning your organs. You are preventing the natural detoxification that happens during sleep. You are aging yourself. You are weakening your immune system. Taking your worries to bed is an act of violence against your own body. If you love yourself, if you want to be healthy, you must make a covenant with your eyes that you will not look upon evil when you close them. You must make a covenant with your heart that you will not hold on to malice when you rest. You must forgive everyone before you sleep. This is crucial. If you go to sleep hating someone, you are tied to them all night. You are sleeping with your enemy. Your energies are entangled. Cut the cord. Say, "I forgive you. I release you. I let you go. I am free." Do this every night until you feel nothing but peace. It is better to be free than to be right. Now, how do we practically stop the multiplication? What do we do when the mind is racing? We must replace the worry with a higher vibration. Nature abhors a vacuum. You cannot just try to not think. You must think of something else. You must use the magic wand of your word. You must have a mantra, a prayer, or an affirmation that you use specifically for sleep. Florence Scovel Shinn gave us many. I cast this burden on the Christ, within I go free to have plenty. Repeat it. I am surrounded by the white light of the Christ, through which nothing negative can penetrate. Repeat it. Visualize the light. See it as a cocoon. Wrap yourself in it. Or simply say, God is here. All is well. The repetition of truth breaks the loop of fear. It acts like a lullaby to the frightened inner child. Think of your subconscious mind as a garden. The night is the growing season. If you throw weed seeds into the garden right before you close the gate, you cannot be surprised when the garden is choked with weeds in the morning. You must plant roses. You must plant lilies. You must plant orchids. What are these seeds? They are thoughts of beauty. I am grateful for my warm bed. I am grateful for the roof over my head. I am grateful for the love in my life. Even if you have very little, find the one thing that is good and focus on it. Magnify it. Let that be the last thing on your mind. Let the fragrance of gratitude be the last thing you smell. This sweetness will permeate your dreams and sweeten your waking life. We must also speak of the night watchman. In the old days, a city had a watchman who guarded the gates at night. You are the watchman of your soul. You must ask yourself, what am I letting in? Are you watching violent news before bed? Are you watching sad movies? Are you scrolling through social media and comparing yourself to others? This is feeding the darkroom with garbage. You are taking the chaos of the world and injecting it into your veins. You must protect the hour before sleep. Make it a sacred hour. Read something spiritual. Listen to calming music, meditate. Cleans the palate of your mind. Do not let the world dump its trash into your living room. right before you turn out the lights. You are holy. Your mind is a temple. Treat it with reverence. The darkroom is sensitive. It picks up the subtle feelings. It picks up the feeling of loneliness. If you go to bed feeling lonely, you will wake up feeling isolated. You must change the feeling. How? By realizing you are never alone. The infinite spirit is your constant companion. You are wrapped in the love of the universe. Talk to God as you fall asleep. Make God your bedfellow. Say, Father, thank you for this day. I am safe with you. When you feel the presence of the divine, the loneliness vanishes. The darkness becomes a warm blanket, not a cold void. The shadows stop being monsters and become the protective wings of the Almighty. If you have a specific problem, like a debt, do not take the calculator to bed. Take the completed result to the debt paid. See the zero balance. Feel the relief. Hold that feeling of relief. Do not worry about how it will be paid. That is the work of the night shift. Your job is to provide the picture of the what. The subconscious will figure out the how while you snore. It will rearrange circumstances. It will inspire you in the morning. But it cannot work if you are micromanaging the process with your worry. You must hand over the controls. You must surrender. Surrender is not giving up, it is giving over. It is an act of immense power. It takes strength to let go. Be strong enough to sleep. Consider the physical darkness of the room. It is necessary for rest. In the same way, mental darkness, the cessation of active, striving thought, is necessary for spiritual recharge. You cannot recharge a battery if you keep using it. You must unplug. Worry is using the battery. Faith is plugging it in. When you are running on your own limited power. When you trust, you are running on God's power. Plug into the source. Let the divine electricity refill you. Let the voltage of the Spirit renew your mind. There is a saying, never let the sun go down on your wrath. This is not just moral advice, it is metaphysical survival. Wrath acts like a fermentation agent in the subconscious. It turns sour. It turns into resentment, which turns into disease. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that many physical ailments are caused by suppressed anger and fear held during sleep. If you want to heal your body, you must heal your sleep. You must wash your mind clean. Imagine a shower of light washing through your brain, washing away the soot of the day's irritations. See them flowing down the drain. You are clean. You are pure. You are ready for the new day. You are a creator. You create with your imagination. The time before sleep is the most creative time of your life. It is the twilight zone between the worlds. You are standing on the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. What you drag across that bridge matters. Do not drag a bag of rocks. Drag a bag of gold. Drag a vision of your best self. Drag a vision of your healed body. Drag a vision of your happy family. Use this time wisely. It is a golden hour. Do not waste it on the dross of anxiety. If you wake up in the middle of the night, do not start worrying. This is a trap. The defenses are down. The ghosts of fear loom large in the silence of 3:00 a.m. If you wake up, immediately turn your thought to God. Say, God is right here. I am safe. Do not let the mind start its hamster wheel. Stop the wheel. Breathe. Visualize a calm lake. Visualize a sleeping child. Bring the vibration down. If you cannot sleep, bless the world. Lie there and send love to your friends, to your family, to your city. Turn the insomnia into a prayer session. You will drift off faster by blessing than by stressing. The worries you take to bed do not just stay the same size, they multiply. One worry becomes two. Two become four. They have babies, they build a colony. By morning, you are infested. You have a plague of doubts. You must use the pesticide of faith. You must nip them in the bud. Do not let the first one settle in. No. You say, I deny this appearance. God is my supply. Walk it with the truth. No, you say. I deny this sickness. God is my health. Walk it with the word. Keep your bed bug free. Keep your mind fear free. Remember, the morning is the harvest. The night is the planting. If you do not like your mornings, you must change your nights. If you are waking up dreading the day, it is because you went to sleep dreading the future. Change the seed. Tonight, plant a seed of excitement. Something wonderful is going to happen to me tomorrow. Say it until you believe it. I am preparing for a surprise. My bud is rushing towards me. Fall asleep with the feeling of Christmas Eve. Fall asleep with the anticipation of a child. You will wake up with energy. You will wake up with eyes that see opportunity. You will have broken the cycle of doom. So, tonight, when you go to your room, treat it as a ceremony. You are entering the chamber of transformation. Leave the old you at the door. Leave the broke you, the sick you, the lonely you in the hallway. Enter the bed as the divine you, the you that is whole, the you that is rich, the you that is loved. Pull the covers up and feel the safety of the divine arms. Close your eyes and watch the darkroom go to work. But this time, give it a beautiful negative to develop. Give it a picture of your wish fulfilled. Hold that picture. Smile at that picture. And let yourself drift off into the ocean of the infinite. Knowing that while you sleep, the universe is moving mountains to make that picture real. You are safe. You are loved. You are provided for. The dark is not your enemy, it is your canvas. Paint it with light. Paint it with love. And wake up to a miracle. You would never invite a thief into your bedroom to rob you while you sleep. Yet every night you invite the thieves of fear and anxiety under your covers, allowing them to multiply in the dark and steal your peace before the sun even rises. You must wake up to the sheer madness of this habit. For if you saw a stranger climbing through your window with a mask on his face and a sack in his hand, you would scream. You would call the police. You would defend your home with every ounce of strength you possess. Yet, when the invisible thieves of worry and doubt climb through the window of your mind, you not only let them in, you offer them a seat on the bed, you pour them a cup of tea, and you converse with them until the early hours of the morning. You do not realize that these invisible thieves are far more dangerous than any physical burglar. For a physical burglar can only take your television or your jewelry. But the thieves of fear and anxiety can take your health, your youth, your inspiration, and your destiny. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that the subconscious mind is a faithful servant, but it must be watched, for it is easily impressed. And it is most impressionable in the twilight hours between waking and sleeping. When you lie down and begin to replay the tape of your troubles, you are handing the keys of your house to the enemy. You are saying to the universe, "Here is my fear of poverty. Please take it and multiply it while I sleep, so that when I wake up, I am poorer than I was when I went to bed." You are saying, "Here is my resentment toward my neighbor. Please take it and magnify it, so that tomorrow I will have more conflict and more disharmony." You are the one opening the door. You are the one leaving the latch unlocked. And the thief, being a thief, takes full advantage of your negligence. The thief of fear is a master of disguise. He comes to you in the dark dressed as prudence or planning. He whispers to you, "You better worry about this bill, or it won't get paid. You better stress about this relationship, or he will leave you." He tells you that worrying is a form of control. That if you think about the problem hard enough and long enough in the dark, you will solve it. But this is a lie from the pit of illusion. Worry never solved a problem. Worry only cements the problem. Worry is the glue that holds the condition in place. When you engage with this thief, he steals your faith. Faith is the only currency that works in the kingdom of God, And when your faith is stolen, you are spiritually bankrupt. You wake up feeling heavy, not because you didn't sleep, but because you spent the night being robbed of your spiritual power. And then there is the multiplication. In the daylight, a worry is just a thought. It is competing with the traffic, the radio, the demands of your job, and the faces of your friends. But in the dark, in the silence of the bedroom, the worry has no competition. It takes center stage. It puts on a performance. A small concern about a cough becomes a terrifying diagnosis in the theater of the night. A small concern about a bank balance becomes a vision of homelessness. The thief of anxiety takes a mustard seed of fear and grows it into a forest of terror while you lie there paralyzed. This is why things always seem so much worse at 3 a.m. The logical mind, the sentry that guards the gate during the day, has gone off duty, and the imagination is running wild, fueled by the thief. You must realize that sleep is a spiritual activity. It is meant to be a time of restoration, not just for the muscles and the bones, but for the soul. It is a time when you return to the source to be refilled. The Bible says, "The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. But I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly." When you go to sleep, you are choosing your companion. Will you sleep with the thief, or will you sleep with the shepherd? If you sleep with the thief, he will destroy your confidence. He will kill your joy. He will steal your divine design. He operates in the dark because darkness is the absence of light, and fear is the absence of truth. When you turn out the light of truth by entertaining doubt, the thief enters. Consider the thief of past regrets. He loves to visit at bedtime. He sits on the edge of your bed and opens a photo album of all your mistakes. He says, "Look at what you did 10 years ago. Look at the opportunity you missed. Look at the foolish thing you said." He steals your self-worth. He steals your present moment by burying you in the graveyard of the past. If you listen to him, you are inviting the vibration of failure into your subconscious. The subconscious does not know the difference between the past and the present. If you relive a failure from 10 years ago with emotion, the subconscious thinks it is happening now, and it sets about creating a new failure to match the old one. You are being robbed of your new beginning. You must kick this thief out. You must say, "The past is dust, it is dissolved, it is forgiven, and I am a new creation." Then there is the thief of future dread. He does not look back, he looks forward, but he looks through a distorted lens. He paints a picture of a bleak tomorrow. He tells you that the economy is crashing, that you are getting older, that you will be alone. He steals your hope. Hope is the anchor of the soul, and without an anchor, you drift onto the rocks. This thief tells you that God has forgotten you. He tells you that you are an orphan in a hostile universe. If you agree with him, if you nod your head on the pillow and say, "Yes, it is hopeless," then you sign the contract for a hopeless tomorrow. You have allowed the thief to plunder your treasury of expectations. You must silence him. You must say, "My future is in the hands of the infinite." And the infinite knows only perfection. The damage these thieves do is not just mental, it is physical. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that the body is the manifestation of the mind. When you lie in bed with the thief of anxiety, your body reacts as if there is a tiger in the room. Your heart rate does not slow down to the restorative rhythm of deep sleep. Your digestion does not enter the rest and digest phase. Your blood is flooded with cortisol. You are literally poisoning yourself in the dark. You wake up with a headache, with a stuck neck, with a stomach ache, and you wonder why. You say, "I must have slept funny." No, you slept with a thief. He beat you up while you were lying down. He stole your vitality. He stole the light from your eyes. You cannot afford to pay this price. Your health is your wealth, and you are handing it over to a phantom. You must become a vigilant homeowner of your mind. You must install a security system. That security system is your word and your will. When you prepare for bed, you must check the locks. You must check the windows. How do you do this? By reviewing your thoughts. If you find a thought of worry lurking in the corner, you do not ignore it, you arrest it. You say, "You have no power here." You act as the sheriff of your soul. You cast the burden of that worry onto the Christ within. You say, "I am not taking this problem to bed with me. I am leaving it at the door. I am leaving it on the altar. I am going to sleep free." Imagine if you actually saw a thief multiplying in your room. Imagine if you saw one thief turn into two, and two turn into four, until the room was crowded with them. That is exactly what happens with negative thoughts. One thought of lack attracts another thought of lack. "I don't have enough money for rent," turns into "will never own a home," which turns into "I am a failure," which turns into "no one loves me." It is a cascading avalanche of theft. And it happens in the dark because in the dark, you lose perspective. You lose sight of the mountains of good that are also in your life. The thief throws a blanket over your blessings so you cannot see them, and he shines a flashlight only on your troubles. You are the only one who can stop this. No one else can dream your dreams for you. No one else can think your thoughts for you. You are the guardian of the threshold. You must realize that your bedroom is a temple. It is the place where you commune with the deepest part of yourself. To bring fear into this temple is a desecration. It is like throwing mud on the altar. You must cleanse yourself before you enter the holy state of sleep. You must wash your mind with the water of truth. You must put on the garment of praise. If you go to sleep praising God, the thieves cannot enter. They are allergic to gratitude. They cannot breathe in the atmosphere of thanksgiving. If you fill the room with, "Thank you, Father," there is no space for, "What if?" The thief of resentment is perhaps the most insidious. He waits until you are quiet, and then he starts the dialogue. He replays the argument you had with your spouse, or your boss, or your friend. He tells you what you should have said. He tells you how right you are and how wrong they are. He whips you up into a frenzy of indignation. You lie there fuming, grinding your teeth. And while you are fuming, he is robbing you. He is robbing you of your love nature. He is robbing you of your digestion. He is robbing you of your beauty. Resentment eats away at the container that holds it. You think you are hurting the other person by staying angry, but you are only hurting yourself. You are taking poison and expecting the other person to die. Kick the thief of resentment out. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to sleep in peace. You deserve to keep your treasures. These thieves are cowards. They only come when you are passive. When you are active in the day, busy with your work, they hide in the shadows. But when you lie down and become passive, they strike. This means you must not be passive at bedtime. You must be spiritually active. You must be deliberate. Do not just fall into bed and hope for the best. Take charge of the atmosphere. Read a spiritual book. Listen to a high-frequency affirmation. Meditate on the light. Flood the room with high vibrations. The thief cannot exist in the light. If you turn on the light of truth, the shadows of fear disappear instantly. They are not real. They are illusions. But they are illusions that can steal real things if you let them. Think of the morning. The morning is the harvest of the night. If you let the thieves trample your garden all night, you will wake up to a field of weeds and broken fences. You will wake up feeling defenseless against the day. But if you guard the garden, if you plant the seeds of trust and water them with peace, before you sleep, You will wake up to a harvest of strength. You will wake up feeling armored. You will handle the day's challenges with a smile, because your energy was preserved, not plundered. You cannot expect to have a victorious day after a defeated night. The victory is won in the dark, so that it can be revealed in the light. The universe is always listening, but the subconscious is the recorder that never stops. When you invite the thieves in, you are recording a track of misery. You are telling the universe, "This is what I want more of." You are validating the fear. You are saying, "This fear is so important. I am going to give it my precious sleeping hours." Stop validating the thief. Stop giving him your time. He is a parasite. He feeds on your attention. Starve him. Give your attention to the divine. Give your attention to the solution. Give your attention to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Florence Scovel Shinn tells the story of those who demonstrate quickly because they do not worry. They ask, and then they act as if they have received. They sleep like babies because they know the work is done. The person who worries is the person who keeps digging up the seed to see if it is growing. The thief of dot hands you the shovel every night and says, "Dig it up. Check on it. Worry about it." And by digging it up, you kill it. You must trust the soil of the universal mind. You must trust the darkness of the gestation process. You do not need to watch the seed grow. You need to sleep and let God grow it. You would never leave your front door wide open in a dangerous neighborhood. You would lock the deadbolt. You would set the alarm. Yet, the mental plane is a neighborhood filled with the thought forms of the world. There is a collective cloud of fear floating around. If you leave your mental door open at night, the collective fear drifts in. You start worrying about things that aren't even yours. You start worrying about wars in distant lands, about diseases you don't have, about economies you don't control. You have been burglarized by the world mind. Lock the door. Affirm surrounded by the white light of the Christ, through which nothing negative can penetrate. Seal your consciousness. Make your bedroom a fortress of peace. The multiplication effect is geometric. A little fear becomes a mood. A mood becomes a state of mind. A state of mind becomes a habit. A habit becomes a character. A character becomes a destiny. It all starts with that one little thief you let in at 10 p.m. Stop the cycle before it starts. Catch the little fox before it destroys the vine. Be ruthless with your thoughts at bedtime. If a thought is not lovely, if it is not of good report, if it is not peaceful, it gets evicted. No exceptions. You are the king or queen of your mental castle. Do not let the peasants of fear rule the throne room while you sleep. Remember that God works in the stillness. When you are finally quiet, the great architect can step in and start rearranging the blocks of your life. But if the room is filled with the noise of the thieves, if there is a riot going in your head, the architect cannot work. He waits. He waits for you to kick them out. He waits for you to say, "Peace, be still." Give God the room he needs. Clear the floor. Sweep out the dust of the day. Make your mind a clean slate. When you offer a clean slate to the infinite, he writes a miracle on it by morning. So tonight, look at your bed with new eyes. It is not just a place to flop down. It is a sacred altar. It is a workshop. It is a garden. Who are you inviting in? If you see the thief of worry approaching, point your finger at the door and say, "Goo." If you see the thief of anxiety trying to crawl under the covers, push him out and say, "Not here." Invite the angels. Invite the spirit of prosperity. Invite the feeling of health. Fill the room so full of good that there is no room for the bad. You have the power to do this. It requires discipline, yes. It requires vigilance, yes. But the reward is a life of peace, a life of power, and a destiny that is not stolen, but fulfilled. Stop poisoning your tomorrow by replaying the struggles of today. For the spiritual law states that the mood in which you fall asleep determines the events of your next day. And tonight we are going to break the cycle of waking up exhausted and defeated. You must realize that when you lie down in your bed, you are not merely resting your physical body. You are entering into a creative laboratory where the blueprint for your future is drawn, signed, and sealed. Most people treat their bedtime as a cinema, where they watch the horror movies of their day on repeat, going over every insult, every failure, every moment of lack, and every disappointment. They churn these images over and over in the mind, adding the color of emotion and the sound of regret, not realizing that they are literally poisoning the timeline of their tomorrow. To replay the struggle is to recreate the struggle. To relive the pain is to reorder the pain. You are sending a clear instruction to the subconscious mind, which is the faithful builder of your life. And that instruction says, "Give me more of this." Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that the subconscious mind is like a phonograph record. Whatever is impressed upon it, with feeling must be expressed in reality. When you lie in the dark, replaying the argument you had with your boss, or the bill you could not pay, or the rejection you faced, you are carving the groove of that record deeper and deeper. You are ensuring that the music of your life will stay in a minor key, a sad and discordant melody that repeats day after day. You wonder why you are stuck in a rut, why the same problems keep appearing, why you attract the same type of difficult people. It is because you are taking them to bed with you. You are sleeping with your enemies. You are knitting the energy of the struggle into your aura while you sleep, so that when you wake up, you are already vibrating at the frequency defeat before your feet even touch the floor. This cycle of waking up exhausted and defeated is not a physical condition. It is a spiritual condition. You are tired because you have been fighting battles all night long in the mental realm. Your body may have been lying still under the covers, but your spirit was pacing the floors of anxiety, wrestling with the shadows of the day. You wake up heavy because you are carrying yesterday's mud into today's house. You have not cleansed yourself. You would not eat a meal if it late from yesterday. Yet you try to serve the fresh feast of a new day on the dirty plate of your old resentments. You must learn the spiritual hygiene of the night. You must learn to wash your mind, just as you wash your face. You must scrub away the memory of the struggle, so that the subconscious has a clean surface upon which to write a new story. The law is exact. The mood of sleep is the mold of the morning. If you fall asleep in a mood of frustration, you will wake up to a day of obstacles. The coffee will spill. The car will not start. The traffic will be heavy. These are not accidents. These are the physical manifestations of the frustration you planted the night before. You planted a seed of thorns, and the universe grew a bush of thorns while you slept. If you fall asleep in a mood of hopelessness, thinking that there is no way out of your dilemma, you will wake up to a day where every door is locked. You will receive letters of rejection. You will hear bad news. Why? Because the hopelessness was the architect you hired to build your day. You gave the architect a blueprint of a prison, and he built it faithfully. But if you can master this law, if you can break the addiction to the struggle, you can perform miracles. If you fall asleep in the mood of success, even if the day was a total failure, you override the failure. This is the power of the racer, of the mind. You can erase the day's mistakes by refusing to replay them. You replace the replay with a pre-play of victory. You lie in bed and you say, "Whatever happened today is gone. It has no power. I am now entering the sanctuary of peace." You summon the mood of relief. You summon the mood of gratitude. You summon the mood of safety. When you fall asleep in this high vibration, you wake up to a day of magic. You wake up and the phone rings with a solution. You wake up and the person who was angry with you smiles. You wake up and the money appears. You planted a seed of lilies, and the universe grew a garden of beauty. You must stop poisoning your future with the toxins of the past. When you replay a struggle, you are drinking poison and expecting your life to get better. You are looking at the lack and saying, "Look how real this is." And the subconscious says, "Yes, it is very real. Let us make more of it." You must become a watchman at the gate of your slumber. As you lay your head down, you must have a ceremony of release. You must mentally take off the backpack of heavy rocks you have been carrying. You must say, "I drop this burden. I drop the worry about the rent. I drop the anger at my spouse. I drop the fear of the diagnosis. I am not carrying this into the holy land of sleep." You must visualize yourself stripping off the garments of the beggar and putting on the robes of the prince or princess. You are going to meet your maker in your sleep. Do not go dressed in rags. Go dressed in faith. The subconscious mind, in that twilight state between waking and sleeping. It is called the state akin to sleep. In this state, the rational guard is down. The critical mind that says, "It's impossible," is falling asleep. This is your window of opportunity. This is the time to impress the new command. But most people use this precious window to impress the old struggle. They use their greatest power against themselves. They lie there and think, "What if it gets worse? What if I lose everything?" They are using the wand of power to cast a curse upon themselves. You must stop this madness. You must seize this moment. You must force your mind, with the gentle strength of a shepherd, away from the cliff of worry and into the green pastures of peace. If you have had a day of conflict, do not replay the argument. Do not think of the clever things you should have said. Do not rehearse the fight for tomorrow. If you do, you will wake up angry, and you will attract more conflict. Instead, revise the day. This is a secret of the masters. Go over the day in your imagination, but change the script. Imagine that the person was kind to you. Imagine that the boss praised you. Imagine that the bill was paid. Fall asleep in the energy of the revision. The subconscious does not know the difference between the physical fact and the spiritual imagination. If you give it the imagined victory with feeling, it accepts it as true. It will begin to rearrange the atoms of your world to match the revision. You can literally undo the damage of the day by refusing to take it to bed. This is how you break the cycle of waking up exhausted. Exhaustion comes from resistance. It comes from the friction of your will fighting the conditions of your life. When you take the struggle to bed, you are maintaining the friction all night. You are grinding your gears. But when you let go, when you settle into the feeling of, "It is finished," you stop the friction. You enter the rest of God. The Bible says, "He giveth to his beloved in sleep." But you cannot receive the gift if your hands are full of garbage. Drop the garbage. Open your hands. Open your mind. Expect the gift. When you sleep in this state of surrender, your body is recharged with the cosmic energy. You wake up feeling light. You wake up feeling that the world is on your side. Because it is. The mood of your sleep dictates the chemicalization of your life. If you sleep in fear, you are brewing a chemical soup of stress, hormones that age you and weaken you. If you sleep in faith, you are brewing an elixir of youth and vitality. You are poisoning your tomorrow physically, as well as spiritually when you worry in the dark. Your cells are listening to your bedtime thoughts. If your thoughts are, "I am so sick of this," your cells say, "Okay, let's be sick." If your thoughts, "I am so grateful for my health," even if you are battling an illness, your cells say, Okay? Let's heal. You are the captain of the ship, and the night is when you set the course for the next leg of the journey. Do not steer the ship into the storm, just because you are afraid of the waves. Steer it toward the calm waters. You must understand that tomorrow is not a fixed reality waiting for you to arrive. Tomorrow is a fluid substance that is taking shape right now based on your vibration. You are molding the clay of tomorrow with the hands of your tonight thoughts. If you handle the clay with shaking hands of fear, you make a crooked pot. If you handle the clay with steady hands of trust, you make a beautiful vessel. Why would you ruin the clay before the day even begins? Stop the replay. The tape is old. The tape is scratched. Throw it away. Put on a new record. Put on the record of the Psalms. Put on the record of your favorite affirmation. Put on the record of silence. Tonight, we break the cycle. We make a pact with the infinite. The pact is this: I will not insult the universe by taking my worries to bed. Worry is an insult to God. It is saying, I don't trust you to handle this while I sleep. It is saying, I have to stay awake and be the general manager of the universe because God might mess it up. How arrogant. How exhausting. Resign from the job of general manager. Let the CEO of the universe take the night shift. Your job is to sleep. Your job is to rest in the assurance that the work is being done. When you truly trust, you sleep soundly. Insomnia is often just a lack of trust in disguise. It is the ego trying to control the uncontrollable. Imagine your bed is a boat. When you get in, you are pushing off from the shore of today. You are floating down the river of the night towards the shore of tomorrow. If you fill the boat with the heavy rocks of today's struggles, the boat sits low in the water. It drags on the bottom. It might even sink. And you arrive at the shore of tomorrow wet, tired, and miserable. But if you empty the boat, if you leave the rocks on the shore, you float high and fast. The current of grace carries you. You arrive at tomorrow fresh and ready. You must check your luggage before you board the boat of sleep. Is this thought heavy? Is this regret heavy? Leave it. Is this fear heavy? Leave it. Take only the light things. Take only the love. Take only the hope. The events of your next day are lurking in the shadows of your bedroom, waiting for your command. If you sigh and say, life is so hard, the events step forward. We will be hard. If you smile and say, God is my supply, the events step forward and say, we will be bountiful. You are the director of the play. The night is the rehearsal. If you rehearse a tragedy, you will perform a tragedy when the curtain rises at 7:00 a.m. Rehearse a triumph. Feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Sleep in the assumption that you are already the person you want to be. Sleep in the house you want to live in, mentally. Sleep with the partner you want to have, mentally. Sleep with the bank account you want to have, mentally. This is not fantasy. This is the mechanics of creation. You have been poisoning your tomorrow for years, perhaps decades. You have developed a habit of nightly worry. It feels natural to you. You feel strange if you aren't worrying about something. You think, if I don't worry, who will? This is the addiction we are breaking. It will take discipline. Tonight, when the familiar worry comes creeping in, you must stand as a sentinel. You must say, halt. You are not allowed here. You must replace the thought instantly. You must drown it out with a word of power. Florence Scovel Shinn gave us the word. I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free to be at peace. Say it until you mean it. Say it until the knot in your stomach loosens. Say it until you drift off. Think of the events of tomorrow as guests coming to a party. You are sending out the invitations tonight. If you send invitations printed on the black paper of gloom, the gloomy guests will show up. They will eat your food and drink your wine and leave a mess. If you send invitations printed on the gold paper of joy, the joyful guests will show up. The opportunities, the coincidences, the blessings. They are waiting for the invitation. Your mood is the invitation. Do not send an invitation to disaster. Do not send an invitation to lack. Send them away. Waking up exhausted is a sign that you have leaked your power. You have a spiritual leak in your vessel. That leak is the worry you chew on in the dark. Plug the leak. Seal your vessel with the wax of faith. When you sleep with a sealed vessel, you hold the energy. You build the charge. You wake up vibrating with potential. You wake up with that feeling that something good is about to happen. And because you have that feeling, you attract the good. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You prophesy your day by your sleep. Be a prophet of good. The spiritual law is neutral. It does not care if you use it to build a palace or a dungeon. It just works. It takes the mood and makes the event. It is terrifying if you are careless, but it is magnificent if you are conscious. Be conscious. Tonight, look at the darkness of your room, not as a scary void, but as a darkroom for developing photographs. You are holding the negative of your life. Do not hold the negative of the sickness. Put it down. Pick up the negative of the health. Hold it in the dark. Let the universal intelligence develop it. By morning, the picture will be clearer. By the next morning, it will be sharper. Soon, it will be your physical reality. We are breaking the cycle of defeat. Defeat is only a state of mind that has persisted too long. You interrupt the pattern by changing the night. The night is the break in the continuity. It is your chance to reset. Every night is a little death, and every morning is a resurrection. Do not resurrect the old dead man of failure. Resurrect the new man of power. Die to the old struggles when you close your eyes. Let them go. Let them be buried in the sea of nothingness. Rise up in the morning as a new being, unencumbered by the past. You do not have to fix your life during the day to sleep well at night. You have to sleep well at night to fix your life during the day. This is the reverse of the world's thinking. The world says, I will sleep when everything is perfect. The Spirit says, everything will be perfect when you learn to sleep in peace. You must prioritize the peace. You must make the mood of sleep more important than the facts of the day. The facts are temporary. The mood is causative. Change the cause, and the effect must change. Do not let the what-ifs terrorize you. What if I lose my job? What if he leaves me? These are the whispers of the thieves in the dark. Answer them with the when-ifs. Even if the mountains fall into the sea, I will not fear. Even if I walk through the valley, God is with me. Trump the fear with faith. The subconscious mind respects authority. Speak with authority to your own thoughts. Command the peace. Stop the replay. Press the stop button in your mind. Take the tape out. Smash it. You are done with that story. You are writing a new story. The new story begins tonight. It begins with a deep breath. It begins with a relaxing of the shoulders. It begins with a smile in the dark. It begins with the words, "Thank you, Father. For the day is done, and my good is on its way." Let the struggles of today dissolve like mist. They are not solid. They are only shadows. Do not give them substance by feeding them your attention. Starve them. Turn your back on them. Look at the light. The light is within you. It is the light of the Christ consciousness. It burns brightly in the sleep of the just. Wrap yourself in that light. Let it be your blanket. Let it be your shield. Tonight is the turning point. Tonight you decide that your bed is a no-fly zone for negativity. Tonight you decide that your tomorrow is worth protecting. You are the guardian. You are the keeper of the gate. Stand tall in your spirit. Lay down the body, but lift up the soul. The dawn is coming. Make sure it breaks on a world that you have blessed, not a world that you have cursed. the cycle is broken. The exhaustion is over. The defeat is canceled. You are entering the cycle of restoration. You are entering the spiral of success. It happens in the dark. It happens in the silence. It happens when you finally let go. Sleep now. Sleep in the arms of the infinite, and wake up to the miracle you created. He giveth to his beloved in sleep. But you cannot receive the gift if your hands are clutching the heavy bags of today's problems, and you must learn the spiritual art of dropping the burden at the bedroom door. If you want to wake up to a miracle, there is a magnificent promise in the scriptures that implies that the night is not merely a cessation of activity, but a time of divine transaction. While the conscious mind halts its noisy chatter, the superconscious mind, the God mind within, stands ready to pour out blessings, to weave solutions, and to repair the damages of the day. But God is a gentleman, and he does not force his gifts into hands that are already full. If your hands are clenched, tied around the throat of your difficulties, if your mental fingers are digging into the problem of the rent, or the problem of the relationship, or the problem of the health, you have created a fist that cannot receive. You are like a child who asks for a shiny new toy, but refuses to put down the broken, dirty pieces of the old one. To receive the gift of the night, you must have open palms and an open heart, and this requires a deliberate, conscious act of release before you cross the threshold of sleep. The bedroom door must become for you a sacred boundary, a spiritual checkpoint where the contraband of worry is confiscated. You would not bring a bag of garbage into your bed because it would soil the sheets and smell up the room. Yet you bring the garbage of your anxieties right onto your pillow, pressing your face into the mess of what if only. You must understand that the problem you are carrying is heavy only because you are carrying it. The moment you drop it, the weight vanishes. The universe is equipped to handle the weight of the world. It spins the planets and directs the tides without breaking a sweat. Your problem, which seems like a mountain to you, is less than a grain of sand to the infinite intelligence. But you must let the infinite have it. You cannot share the burden with God. You cannot say, God, you take half and I will worry about the other half. It is all or nothing. To drop the burden means to step back and take your hands off the steering wheel entirely, trusting that the divine driver knows the way in the dark. Most people treat sleep as a time to figure things out. They lie in the dark and the reasoning mind, which is the intellect, begins its hamster wheel of torment. It dissects the conversation from dinner. It calculates the bank balance. It rehearses the confrontation for tomorrow. This is the most destructive use of your mental faculty imaginable. The reasoning mind is limited. It only knows what it has seen and heard, and therefore it cannot see the trapdoor of escape that the spirit has prepared. When you use the reasoning mind at night, you are clutching the heavy bags. You are trying to be the general manager of the universe from your mattress. You must fire yourself from this position. You must realize that your only job at night is to rest in the assurance that the night shift has come on duty, and the night shift is staffed by angels, and by divine laws, and by the very Spirit of the Almighty. The spiritual art of dropping the burden is not a passive act of giving up. It is an active act of faith. It requires a muscular spiritual effort to unclench the mind. You must stand at the door of your bedroom, physically or in your imagination, and visualize yourself taking off the backpack of care. You must name the burdens as you set them down. Say to yourself, I am putting down the burden of debt. I am putting down the burden of fear for my children. I am putting down the burden of anger at my boss. I am leaving them here in the hallway. I will not take them into the sanctuary. You must strip your soul naked of these heavy garments. When you enter your room, you enter as a free spirit, ready to commune with the divine. If you do not do this, you turn your bedroom into a torture chamber where you are racked by your own thoughts until the sun rises on a depleted and exhausted soul. He giveth to his beloved in sleep. You are the beloved of the infinite. The universe loves you and wants to give to you. But the mechanism of receiving is relaxation. You cannot receive when you are tense. Have you ever tried to hand something to a person who is stiff with fear? They fumble it. They cannot grasp it. Your tension, your anxiety, your tight muscles and tight thoughts are blocking the delivery. The gift is hovering right above your head. It might be the idea for a new invention. It might be the healing of a chronic pain. It might be the peace that passes understanding. But it waits for the grip to loosen. It waits for the breath to deepen. It waits for the hands to open. The moment you truly drop the burden, the moment you say, I surrender this situation to the God power, the tension snaps, the channels open, and the gift flows in. Waking up to a miracle is the natural result of a burden-free sleep. When you drop the problem into the abyss of the superconscious before you sleep, the superconscious goes to work on it. It has access to the fourth dimension, the world of the wondrous. It can rearrange events. It can influence people. It can orchestrate coincidences while you are oblivious to the world. You wake up and the phone rings with the good news. You wake up and the pain is gone. You wake up and you have a sudden hunch to go to a certain place where your opportunity awaits. This is not magic in the sense of a trick. It is the higher law of mind in action. But this law cannot work if you are micromanaging the process with your worry. You must trust the darkness of the womb of sleep. You plant the seed of the problem into the solution-oriented mind of God, and then you leave it alone. You do not dig it up at 30 a.m. to see if it is fixed. You sleep, you rest, you trust. The heavy bags you carry are filled with the stones of the past and the rocks of the future. The past is dead and the future is unborn. The only reality is the now. And in the now of sleep, there is only peace. Why drag the corpse of a past mistake into your bed? Why drag the ghost of a future calamity under your covers? They are not real. They are phantoms stuffed into bags and labeled, my life. You must realize that these burdens are mental constructs. They exist only because you give them attention. When you withdraw your attention, they wither. When you drop them at the door, you are withdrawing your life force from the problem and giving it to the solution. You are saying, I am too important. My rest is too sacred to share my bed with these vampires. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us to cast the burden. The word cast implies a throw, a heave, a decisive action. You do not gently place the burden down, you cast it away. You throw it onto the shoulders of the Christ within. You say, this is too heavy for me. But it is light as a feather for the infinite. There is a sense of relief in the casting. It is a physical sensation of lightness. When you have truly dropped the burden, you will feel a shift in your solar plexus. The knot will untee. The breathing will drop into the belly. This is the signal that the transfer has taken place. You have transferred the responsibility from the limited human ego to the unlimited divine spirit. Now you are free to sleep the sleep of the just. The sleep of the just is deep, healing, and miraculous because the just man knows he is justified by grace, not by his own struggle. If you find yourself picking the bags back up after you get in bed, which is a common habit of the anxious mind, you must be firm with yourself. You must treat the worry like a disobedient dog. You must say, no, stay out. I have dropped you. You must have dominion over your own thoughts. You are the master of your mental household. Do not let the servants of fear run the house. If a thought of lack creeps in, chase it out with a word of affirmation. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. God is my unfailing supply. Use the word as a broom to sweep the room clean again. You may have to do this 10 times a night at first, but eventually, the subconscious will get the message. It will learn that the bedroom is a no-fly zone for negativity. The miracle you want to wake up to is already prepared. It is like a package sitting on the doorstep of the morning, but you must have the key to open the door. The key is faith. Taking your worries to bed is an act of faithlessness. It is a declaration that you do not believe God is on the job. It is a declaration that you think you are alone in the universe, an orphan fighting for survival. This attitude repels the miracle. Miracles are attracted to trust. Miracles are attracted to the vibration of letting go. When you sleep with a smile of trust on your face, you are a magnet for the miraculous. You are telling the universe, I know it is done. I know it is well. And the universe rushes to prove you right. Think of your mind as a body of water. During the day, the winds of activity chop up the surface, and the water is muddy and turbulent. You cannot see the bottom. But at night, if the winds die down, the water becomes still and clear. In that stillness, the stars of heaven are reflected in the depths of your soul. But if you carry the heavy bags of worry into the night, you keep splashing the water. You keep churning the mud. You never achieve the stillness where the reflection can happen. You never achieve the clarity where the answer can be seen. Dropping the burden is simply the act of stopping the splashing. It is the act of letting the mud settle so that the water can become a mirror for the divine. We often cling to our burdens because they give us a sense of identity. We are the Han who struggles. We are the On who carries the weight of the family. We wear our heavy bags like badges of honor. We think that worrying shows we care. This is a false and dangerous belief. Worry does not help the person you are worrying about. It sends them negative energy. Worry does not fix the problem, it cements it. True caring is holding the vision of perfection for yourself and others. True responsibility is keeping your vibration high so you can be an agent of power, not a victim of despair. You do the world a favor when you drop your burden. You become a lighter, brighter presence. You become a channel through which God can work. You cannot help anyone if you are crushed under the weight of your own baggage. The bedroom door is the portal between the world of effects and the world of causes. The day is the world of effects, where you see the results of your past thinking. The night is the world of causes, where you plant the seeds for the future. If you bring the effects of the day, the bills, the arguments, the symptoms, into the world of causes, you are replanting the weeds. You are ensuring that tomorrow will look exactly like today. You must leave the effects at the door. Walk into the world of causes with only the seeds you want to grow. Walk in with the seed of health. Walk in with the seed of abundance. Walk in with the seed of love. Plant these in the dark soil of sleep. Fertilize them with your gratitude. Water them with your peace. And leave the heavy bags of weeds outside to wither and die. You must develop a nightly ritual of release. It can be a simple prayer. I cast every burden on the Christ within, and I go free to be at peace. It can be a visualization of cutting cords. It can be a deep breathing exercise where you exhale the dark smoke of worry and inhale the golden light of spirit. Whatever it is, do it faithfully. Do not skip a night. The heavy bags are sneaky. They will try to attach themselves to your back when you are not looking. Be vigilant. Check your pockets before you get into bed. Is there any resentment hiding there? Is there any fear hiding there? Take it out. Put it in the trash. Your sleep is holy ground. Take off your shoes, for the place where you are lying is sacred. The gift that he giveth is often the gift of perspective. When you drop the burden and sleep, you wake up and the mountain has become a molehill. You wonder why you were so upset yesterday. The problem hasn't necessarily changed yet, but you have changed. You have regained your power. You are looking down at the problem instead of looking up at it. This shift in perspective is the beginning of the miracle. Once you see the problem as small, it begins to shrink in the outer world. It loses its grip on you. But you can only get this perspective if you detach. You cannot see the mountain if your face is pressed against the rock. You must step back. Sleep is the ultimate stepping back. The heavy bags are often filled with the hows. How will I pay this? How will I fix this? How will I get there? The how is not your business. What is the business of the infinite? Your business is the what and the who. You know what you want: freedom, joy, supply. And you know who is the source: God. Leave how in the hallway. The reasoning mind loves the how and goes crazy trying to figure it out. The spiritual mind knows that the how is infinite. There are a million ways for the universe to bless you. Do not limit the Holy of Israel by carrying a bag labeled the only way. Drop that bag. Let the universe surprise you with a way you never imagined. If you struggle to drop the burden, it is because you are addicted to the adrenaline of stress. You feel alive when you are fighting a battle. Break this addiction. You must learn to love peace more than you love the drama. You must learn to trust the silence more than the noise. Peace is not emptiness, it is a fullness of power. When you are peaceful, you are formidable. When you are stressed, you are weak. Choose power. Choose peace. Choose to lay down the weapons of your warfare at the bedroom door and enter the peace treaty of sleep. Imagine your bed is a boat that is set to sail to the Isle of Resolution. If you overload the boat with the luggage of the day, it will sink at the dock. It will never leave the harbor of your current circumstances. You must travel light. You must throw the cargo overboard. Let it sink to the bottom of the ocean of oblivion. Let the past bury its dead. You sail on. You sail into the dreamtime, into the realm of the soul. There, you will be refueled. There you will be given the map for tomorrow. But you must be light enough to float. The miracle is waiting for the empty space. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you empty your mind of worry, God rushes in to fill it with good. If you keep your mind full of worry, there is no room for the good to enter. You are occupying the space that the miracle wants to inhabit. Evict the worry. Make room for the blessing. Say to the heavy bags, you have no place here. I am preparing a room for my good. Sleep is the preparation. Sleep is the cleaning of the house. Sleep is the setting of the table for the breakfast of champions. So tonight, as you approach your bedroom, pause. Look at the door handle. See it as a switch. When you turn that handle, you are turning off the world and turning on the spirit. Stand there for a moment. Feel the weight on your shoulders. Acknowledge it. Do not deny it. Say, yes, I am carrying a heavy load. And then, with a deliberate exhale, imagine it sliding off your back. Hear it hit the floor with a thud. Step over it. Walk into your room lighter, taller, freer. Close the door firmly behind you. You have separated yourself from the problem. You are now in the presence of the solution. Lie down in the soft embrace of your bed. Feel the support of the mattress. It is holding you up. Just as the everlasting arms are holding you up. You do not have to hold yourself up. You do not have to hold the world up. Let go. Let go of the muscles in your neck. Let go of the muscles in your jaw. Let go of the tight grip in your mind. Say to the infinite, here I am empty, fill me. I am ready to receive. And then drift off, drifting on the river of faith, knowing that while you sleep, The angels are working, the barriers are breaking, and the miracle is being wrapped in the morning light, ready for you to open your eyes and receive it. The heavy bags will still be there in the hallway tomorrow, if you really want to pick them up again. But chances are, after a night of burden, free sleep, after a night of communing with the source, you will look at those bags and see them for what they are, illusions of fear. And you will leave them there. You will walk past them and out into your day, armed with the power of the Spirit, ready to claim your victory. But it all starts at the door. It starts with the drop. It starts with the trust. Drop the burden. Receive the gift. Wake up to the miracle. Tonight we are going to perform a surgery on your soul before you close your eyes. So settle into your bed, turn off the lights, and listen closely. For we are about to clear the deck of your mind, so the universe can work for you, not against you. While you rest, you may think of surgery as a painful procedure involving steel instruments and physical wounds. But the surgery we perform tonight is a spiritual operation, a painless yet profound removal of the diseased thoughts, the inflamed fears, and the malignant resentments that have been poisoning your system and blocking your good. You have been walking around all day, carrying these foreign bodies in your consciousness, these sharp shards of worry that cut into your peace. And if you take them into the sleep state, they will fester and infect your tomorrow. But we are not going to let that happen. We are going to excise them now, with the laser of truth, leaving you clean, whole, and ready to receive the healing balm of the infinite spirit. Imagine your mind is like the deck of a great ship. All day long, the waves of the world have washed debris onto your deck. There is the seaweed of confusion, the driftwood of other people's opinions, and the heavy cargo of your own anxieties. If you try to set sail for the port of your dreams with all this clutter, your ship will be too heavy. It will drag in the water, and it may even capsize in the night. To clear the deck is a nautical term. It means to prepare for action, to remove anything that is not essential, to batten down the hatches and make the vessel ready for the voyage. Your sleep is a voyage. It is a journey into the deep waters of the subconscious, and you must embark upon this journey with a clean ship. If you clear the deck, the universe, which is the wind in your sails, can push you effortlessly toward your destination. If you do not clear the deck, the universe will work against you. For the law of life is that the water takes on the shape of the vessel. And if your vessel is cluttered with fear, the water of life will manifest as a storm. Settle into your bed now and feel the support of the mattress beneath you. This is the operating table of the divine. You are safe here. You are protected here. There is nothing you need to do physically. The work is entirely mental and spiritual. Your body is the temple, but your mind is the altar. And tonight we are scrubbing the altar clean. I want you to locate the tension in your body, for tension is simply a trapped thought. Find the tightness in your shoulders. That is the burden of responsibility you have been carrying for others. We are going to cut that out. Say to yourself, I release the false sense of responsibility. I cannot save the world, but I can save my own reaction to it. I let go. Feel the shoulders drop. Find the tightness in yoke. That is the knot of fear about the future, the fear of how and when. We are going to extract that now. Say to yourself, I release the fear of tomorrow. Tomorrow is God's business. I live in the eternal now. I let go. Feel the stomach soften. The first part of this soul surgery is the removal of resentment. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that resentment is the most dangerous infection of the soul. It eats away at your vitals, it clouds your vision, and it literally creates chemical poisons in the blood. You cannot afford to sleep with resentment. It is like sleeping with a radioactive rock under your pillow. I want you to bring to mind the face of anyone who has injured you, anyone who has annoyed you, anyone who has cheated you or lied to you today or in the past. See them clearly. They are the blockage. They are the obstacle between you and your miracle. We are going to cut the cord that binds you to them. As long as you resent them, you are their slave. You are tied to them by a cosmic chain. Tonight, we cut the chain. Speak these words in the silence of your heart. I forgive you. I release you. I let you go. You are not my problem anymore. I give you to the Holy Spirit. The law of love now dissolves all bitterness. I am free, and you are free. Feel the surgical precision of those words. You are severing the link. You are reclaiming your energy. You are no longer leaking power to that person. The wound is cleaned. Now we must address the tumor of financial fear. This is a growth that has attached itself to the imagination of millions, the constant, throbbing ache of not enough. It whispers to you in the dark, telling you that you are poor, that you are struggling, that you will never get ahead. We are going to remove this lie. We are going to transplant it with the truth of opulence. Visualize your fear of debt or lack as a dark, heavy stone sitting on your chest, rift in your breath. It is cold and hard. Now imagine the hand of the infinite, a hand made of pure light, reaching down and lifting that stone off your chest. Feel the weight vanish. Hear the stone splash into the sea of nothingness. It is gone. In its place, the light pours in. Say to yourself, God is my unfailing supply. Large sums of money come to me quickly, under grace, in perfect ways. I am not a pauper. I am a princess in the kingdom. My supply is endless and immediate. Feel the circulation return to your spirit. You can breathe again. The blockage is gone. The universe can now flow through you as wealth. The surgery continues with the removal of self-criticism. This is the scar tissue of the past. You have been beating yourself up for mistakes you made 10 years ago, or 10 minutes ago. You replay your failures. You cringe at your awkwardness. You judge your own worthiness. This scar tissue makes your heart hard. It prevents you from receiving love. We must soften this tissue. We must apply the ointment of divine love. You must look at yourself with the eyes of the Creator. God does not make junk. God does not make mistakes. You are a perfect idea in the divine mind, perhaps covered by some mud, but the gold is underneath. We are washing away the mud. Say to yourself, I love and approve of myself. I am one with the infinite intelligence. I forgive myself for every mistake I have ever made. I am learning. I am growing. I am beautiful in the eyes of the Spirit. Feel the hardness in your heart melt. You are accepting yourself. You are becoming permeable to grace. Now that we have removed the resentment, the fear, and the self-criticism, we have a clean wound, a clean space. Nature abhors a vacuum. So we must fill this space immediately with the antibiotic of faith. We are going to dress the wound with the light of the Christ. Visualize a brilliant, white light descending from above. It is thicker than air. It is like a liquid luminescence. It pours into the top of your head and flows down through your brain, washing away the dark thoughts. It flows down your neck, into your heart, filling the space where the fear used to be. It flows into your solar plexus, into your hips, your legs, and out through the soles of your feet. You are now glowing. You are sterilized. No germ of doubt can live in this light. Affirm. I am surrounded by the white of Christ, through which nothing negative can penetrate. You are sealed. You are safe. We are clearing the deck for a specific purpose, so the universe can work for you. When the deck is cluttered, the universe works against you because it reflects your chaos. It brings you more clutter. But now that the deck is clear, the universe looks down and sees a pristine surface, ready for a new design. This is the moment, right before sleep, where you give the captain of the U map for tomorrow's voyage. You do not give him a map of storms. You give him a map of smooth sailing. What do you want to happen tomorrow? Do not think of what you don't want. Think of the solution. Visualize the phone call you want to receive. Hear the voice saying. Visualize the check in the mail. See the amount. Visualize the doctor saying, "You are healed." See the smile. You are handing these blueprints to the master builder while you rest. You are saying, "Hair, build this while I sleep." This surgery requires anesthesia, and that anesthesia is trust. You cannot be awake and worried during this operation. You must go under. You must sink into the deep, velvet blackness of sleep with total abandonment. You are letting go of the steering wheel. You are taking your hands off the controls. This is the most frightening part for the ego, but the most liberating part for the soul. The ego wants to stay awake and supervise the universe. The ego thinks, if I stop worrying, everything will fall apart. But the surgery proves the opposite. Only when you stop worrying can the parts be put back together. You must trust that the surgeon knows what he is doing. The infinite intelligence that spins the galaxies knows how to fix your life. Say to yourself, I cast this burden on the Christ within and I go free to have plenty. I am now entering the sleep of the just. I trust. I trust. I trust. As you lie there, cleared and cleansed, you become a magnet. The clear deck attracts the cargo of heaven. While you are sleeping, your subconscious mind, stripped of its old nightmares, begins to hum with a new vibration. It radiates a signal to the ether. It calls out to the resources of the world. It calls out to the people who can help you. It calls out to the opportunities that were invisible to you before. Because you are not broadcasting static anymore. You are broadcasting a pure tone. This is how the universe works for you. It responds to the clarity of your signal. If you go to sleep confused, you broadcast static, and you attract static. If you go to sleep clear, you broadcast power, and you attract power. We have tuned your instrument. You are now ready to play the symphony of success. You may feel a resistance, a phantom pain where the old worry used to be. The mind is a creature of habit, and it reaches for the old familiar anxiety like a security blanket. It wants to check on the problem. Is the debt still there? Is the pain still there? Do not touch the incision. Do not rip off the bandages of faith to check on the wound. That is how you get an infection. Leave it alone. Turn your attention away from the spot. If the thought comes back, gently push it away with the word, "It is done." The surgery is complete. The removal is final. Do not go digging in the trash bin of the past to retrieve what has been cut out. It is gone. It is dead energy. Let the dead bury their dead. You are alive to the new. Now, listen closely to the silence in the room. That silence is not empty, it is pregnant with possibility. In this silence, the divine design of your life is reasserting itself. The divine design is a perfect picture of your life as God sees it. It has been covered up by the debris of your fears. But now that we have cleared the deck, the pattern is emerging. It is a pattern of health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. It is the square of life. As you drift off, imagine this square glowing beneath you, supporting you. You are falling into the safety of the divine plan. There are no accidents in the divine plan. There are no delays. There is only the rhythmic unfolding of good. You are aligning yourself with this rhythm. You are breathing in time with the universe. We are breaking the agreement with the dark. The old agreement said, I will use the darkness to multiply my fears. The new agreement says, I will use the darkness to incubate my miracles. The darkness of sleep is the fertile soil. You have just planted the seeds of your cleared mind into this soil. Now, you must leave them in the dark to germinate. You do not shine a flashlight on a seed every 5 minutes to see if it is growing. You trust the process of nature. Tonight, you trust the process of the Spirit. You have planted the seed of success. You have planted the seed of healing. Now, let the dark nourish them. Let the mystery of the night do its work. The deck is clear. The stars are overhead. The ocean of the Spirit is calm. You are the captain, and you have given the order. Full steam ahead toward the dawn. You do not need to paddle. You do not need to steer. The current of providence has caught you. You can feel the gentle movement of the ship. It is moving away from the land of lack, away from the land of struggle. It is moving toward the golden shore. Your only job now is to rest. Your only job is to sleep the deep, dreamless sleep of the child who knows the Father is at the helm. As you close your eyes, visualize a great broom sweeping across the floor of your mind one last time. Sweep out the dust of the day. Sweep out the conversations. Sweep out the news reports. Sweep out the noise. It is empty. It is ready. And into this emptiness, God speaks. He speaks the word of peace. He speaks the word of plenty. You may not hear it with ears, but your soul hears it. Your cells hear it. And they rejoice. The surgery is a success. The patient is resting comfortably. The prognosis is excellent. You will wake up different. You will wake up lighter. You may not even remember why you were so worried. That is the sign that the healing has taken place. The emotional charge is gone. You will look at the problem and see it as a challenge to be solved, not a monster to be feared. You will have the energy to solve it because you didn't waste your energy fighting ghosts all night. You have cleared the deck. You have prepared the way. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Sleep now. Sleep in the confidence that the work is done. Sleep in the assurance that the universe is conspiring in your favor. Sleep with the smile of the victor. The night is your friend. The dark is your blanket. The morning is your reward. You have now completed the great work of the night. You have stood at the threshold of your own mind and swept it clean of the debris that was cluttering your spirit. The surgery is finished. The deck is clear. And the heavy bags have been left outside the gate. There is nothing left for you to do now, but to accept the peace that you have summoned. Do not strive to sleep. Simply float. You are no longer the rower of the boat. You are the passenger, and the current of divine love is carrying you gently toward the harbor of a new day. You have given the command. You have set the intention. And now you must practice the great spiritual art of non-resistance. You are not fighting the dark. You are resting in it. You are not fighting your thoughts. You are watching them drift away like clouds against a night sky, having no power to touch you or harm you. Know this as you drift into the unconscious. The universal forces are mobilizing on your behalf. Because you have cleared the channel, the power can flow without obstruction. While your physical body enters the state of repair, your spiritual body is entering the state of reception. You are receiving the answers to the questions that plagued you at noon. You are receiving the strength for the challenges that seemed impossible at sunset. The divine architect is using this time to relay the foundation of your life, replacing the bricks of fear with the gold of faith. You do not need to supervise this process. In fact, your supervision is the interference. Your job is to be the trusting child who sleeps soundly while the father fixes the broken toy. The fix is happening. The solution is forming. The dawn is bringing it to you. Feel your body sinking deeper into the mattress. And with every breath, feel the tether to the world snapping. You are untying the boat from the dock. You are drifting away from the city of worry, away from the noise of the argument, away from the pressure of the debt. You are drifting into the silence of the high seas of the spirit. Here, the air is clean. Here, the perspective is infinite. You are safe in this vastness. You are protected by the white light that you have wrapped around yourself. No thief can swim this far out. No anxiety can breathe in this atmosphere. You are in the secret place of the Most High, under the shadow of the Almighty. When you open your eyes in the morning, do not reach for the old heavy coat of worry. It does not fit you anymore. You have outgrown it in the night. Wake up expecting the shift. Wake up looking for the evidence that the work has been done. You will feel it in your body. You will feel a lightness, a clarity, a sense of, is well. Do not be surprised when the phone rings with good news. Do not be surprised when the obstacle dissolves. You ordered this reality tonight. You printed this photograph in the darkroom of your sleep. Tomorrow is simply the exhibition of the masterpiece you are creating right now. So, let go. Let go of the last little finger of control. Let go of the last whisper of how. The how is God's business. The now is your rest. You are loved beyond measure. You are guided beyond error. You are supplied beyond need. The day is done. The door is locked. The angels are posted. The spirit is willing. The flesh is resting. Sleep now. Sleep in the absolute certainty that you are held in the everlasting arms. It is finished. It is well. It is done.